Hey, what's up? It's Tony. One of the topics that I wanted to cover was the color of urine. Yes, wonderful. And the only reason why I want to cover the topic of the color of urine is because it freaked me the fuck out. I don't know how else to put it. It freaked me the fuck out the first time that the bag started to fill up with urine and changed a different color, many different shades, and had me calling the urologist office in a panic as to what the hell was going on. And, you know, it went from all the way from being very clear to being pond scum. I don't know how else to put it. I do have pictures and I haven't decided if I want to share that or not. And that freaked me out. Like, what's going on? Am I dying? And there was a time when there were blood clots and floating around, and so I wanted to do this video to let you know from experience that the majority of the times that this is happening, unless you have a fever, unless you feel ill, unless you are hemorrhaging, more than likely it is not unusual. And a lot of the times what will end up happening is that your urine will change. Number one, it will look different to you because imagine that when you go to the bathroom normally, you're taking a leak right into usually toilet water, right? Or if you're at a urinal, just go straight down the urinal, whatever. But it's not being diluted, so therefore the color of the urine usually looks a lot stronger or maybe even stranger because it hasn't hit the water and been diluted. Imagine putting a drop of food coloring in water. So that's one of the first things. So you're going to have to get used to the fact that your urine color is not what it's usually going to be because it's not hitting the toilet and being diluted. That's the first thing. The second thing that I noticed about when my urine color changed was I was not drinking a lot of water like I normally would because I was scared actually to deal with looking down there and deal with draining, emptying the drainage bag. And, I was being basically a baby, but then again, who wouldn't be under the circumstances? And so in order for me not to have to deal with the bag filling up all the time, I initially was not drinking as much water, which was a massive mistake because in actuality you're supposed to be drinking way more water so that you can keep your body flushing out although it's healthier bacteria, less chances of a UTI, less trauma on your bladder. So I was actually not drinking as much water because I didn't want to have to deal with emptying this drainage bag. So my urine color initially went very clear, and then when I started drinking more water again after that, it actually had some more blood clots in it because I don't know, I guess like it was like a dry pond in there, and so it caused some trauma. And then of course when you fill it back up and you have to go to the bathroom, right, all that bit of trauma, is going to actually have to flush itself out. So if you cause some scarring on the inside of your bladder or some trauma, that all that blood and all that stuff actually ends up getting flushed out, which is actually perfect. Another thing that I didn't know that would change the color of my urine, which was having me run up, calling my urologist, panicking, like, oh my God, my pee is this color, was I didn't realize that one of the side effects, and this is if you get a UTI and you're on antibiotics or your urologist gave you medicine for bladder spasms, any type of medication is actually going to have an effect on your system and it's going to change the color of your urine. So I was on some antibiotics and lo and behold, right, my urine went this really funky color of brown and I was freaking out, and it had some residual blood clots in it and I was literally losing my mind. I thought I'm dying. And of course getting on the phone again, and I was going to get on the phone, leave a message to call me back. I'm panicking. They're saying it's nothing to panic about. It is a side effect of the medication that you're on. Well, nobody tells me these things, so what the hell else am I supposed to think? My pee's gone from, normal pee color to now like, a swamp or a pond, and I'm just like, what the hell is happening? You know, I'm saying I'm dying. Everything led to I'm dying. I was not dying. It was a side effect of the medicine that I was on. I had no fever, I had no pain, I had no aches, no nothing. Well, I had pain from the catheter, but you know, shortly thereafter, it went back to a normal color, and but I could have avoided a lot of panic. And I'm dying, call me, it's an emergency, to my urologist office. And if I had actually been informed that medications will change the color of your urine, it'll become more obviously so because you're not peeing into a toilet to dilute the color, you're peeing into a bag, which looks like, yeah, so that's really something that you should watch out for. I'm not saying that you should never call your urologist if your urine is a very strange shade or has blood in it, but I'm trying to give you some information so that you're more informed about what you're looking at before you turn yourself into a crazy person like I did. I will tie this up by saying, of course, I've said it before, I'm not a doctor. This is my personal journey. You always need, first and foremost, to consult with your doctor, your urologist, professional medical advice. These are just some of the things that I specifically had learned on my own in all of my millions of calls to the urologist in an absolute panic because nobody told me. So that's why I'm hoping that that will give you some comfort. Don't ignore your body if it's telling you something, of course, but certain things you can take a breath and not panic like I did. I will say that in all the times that I called the urologist in a panic, I even actually called several times late at night and when the office was closed, so that the emergency ER urology person had to call me back to deal with me. There was never one time in all the months that I had the catheter in that I actually had to go to the ER, or I had to go in to be checked, or I had to go up because they were concerned. Not once. Now, I'm not saying that that's going to be your journey, but I'm just telling you that was my journey, and all the things that I panicked about the color of the urine, never sent me back to the ER and were never cause for concern. And actually, it was actually more panic, which I actually wish that I didn't have to go through. So.